she gave aid to me with both her wealth and herself.
فلا والله ما أبدلني الله خيرا
And I
منها.
know, I swear by Allah, Allah has not given me better than her.
ومرة ذكروا صفية فقالت حسبك وأشارت بيدها أنها قصيرة.
And once she mentioned Sayyidina Safiya and said, this is enough for you, or that she made an indication that she was short.
قال النبي يا عائشة لقد قلت كلمة لو مزجت بماء البحر لمزجته.
And he said, oh Aisha, you said something that if it were mixed with the ocean, it would have changed it.
يعني الغيبة لا تغتاب بها.
Meaning ghiba, backbiting. Don't backbite anyone.
فهو مع محبتها ورحمته بها مهذب لها ومخلق يوقفها عند حدود الله.
So he, with his love for her and his mercy to her, he still instructed her and taught her character and taught her to stop at the limits of Allah.
وإذا اقتضى الأمر راعى الطبيعة البشرية.
And if circumstances dictated, he would show consideration and sensitivity to the natural human disposition.
وقد أرسلت يوما أم سلمة صحفة فيها طعام في يوم النبي في بيت عائشة.
And once Sayyidatuna Safiya sent Salama sent a dish of food while the Prophet ﷺ was in the house of Aisha.
فلما استلمته غارت تقول هذا يومي وأنا الذي أطبخ لماذا هذه تأتي به إلى بيتي فرمت الصحفة في الأرض بقوة فكسرتها.
So when she received this food, she said, this is my day and I'm cooking for him. Why is she sending food to my house? And out of anger, she threw the dish down and broke it.
كان النبي مع بعض الصحابة فالتفت فرأى المنظر.
So the Prophet ﷺ was with some of the companions and he looked and he saw what occurred.
فما كان منه إلا أن قام فدخل في بيتها فأخرج صحفة صحيحة وغرف الطعام فيها وهو يقول غارت أمكم جاءت الغيرة حق النساء فحمل الصحفة فأطعم أصحابه.
So then he didn't do anything other than take the dish, take a good dish that was there in her home, and then take the food and put it on the dish. And then he said, your mother is jealous, and mentioning the jealousy that ladies experience in this circumstance. And then he fed that food to his companions.
ثم قال خذوا الصحفة الصحيحة ردوها إلى أم سلمة وخذوا المكسورة دعوها عند عائشة.
And then he said, take the unbroken dish and return it to Salama, and then take the broken dish and put it in the cupboard of Aisha.
وانتهت المسألة.
And that was the end of the case.
وقد كانت الصحفتان من ملكه صلى الله عليه وسلم.
And both of the dishes belonged to him صلى الله عليه وسلم.
فأراد أن يؤدب هذه بهذه وإلا لم يكن الحكم هكذا.
And he said, and he wanted to teach this one a lesson from that one, and otherwise he wouldn't have judged it in this way.
ولم يزل عليه الصلاة والسلام بتلك العظمة في أنه خير الناس لأهله.
And he continued in that sublime character to be the best of people to his family.
ولقد اجتمعنا يوما بعد وفاة النبي.
And all of them gathered, his wives gathered, his families gathered after his death.
أمهات المؤمنين التسع.
The 9 mothers of the believers.
فتذاكرنا أيام رسول الله.
So they remembered the days of Allah's Messenger.
وقلنا لبعضهن البعض إنه قد يصدر بحكم الطبيعة منا ما يكون بين نساء الرجل الواحد.
And they said that something through the natural human disposition might occur because we were wives of one man.
فلنتسامح ولنتصافح.
So let us all pardon one another and shake hands.
فتباكينا وتعانقنا وتسامحنا بينهن.
So they cried and they hugged each other and pardoned each other.
وحسبهن أنهن أمهات لكل مؤمن إلى يوم القيامة.
And it's sufficient for them that they are mothers of every believer until the day of rising.
بنص القرآن.
By the very explicit statement of the Quran.
وإذا دخل الناس الجنة فسيرفع أمهات المؤمنين إلى مراتب فوق النبيين لتبعية محمد.
And when people enter paradise, the mothers of the believers will be raised to degrees even over prophets due to their connection, their followership of the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam.
إن نحب أن نساءنا كلهن يرون وجوه أمهات
And
المؤمنين.
we want all of our wives to see the faces of the mothers of believers.
فلنقيم في الأسرة معاني علاقة بهؤلاء الصالحات.
So then let us establish in the family the meanings of a bond with those pious women.
لا تأخذنا البرامج الفاسدات.
Let the ladies of our homes not watch corrupt programs.
وصور الكاسيات العاريات.
And let them not look at the images of women who are clothed and naked at the same time.
فلا شرف لرجل ولا امرأة منا أن يحشر معهم.
There's no nobility for any woman among us or any man to be resurrected with this type of people.
ولنتعلق بالصالحين.
And let us have a connection to the pious.
طال الوقت عليكم والخلاصة أننا نحتاج أن نعيد النظر في إقامة العلائق بيننا.
He said that the time has grown long, but this can be summarized in saying that we have to review the bonds between us.
لو حصلت نفرة في البيوت بين غير المسلمين وكثرة طلاق لم يكن ذلك مستغربا لدواعي النفوس.
If there's a mutual aversion in the home and there's a lot of divorce among disbelievers, this wouldn't be unusual because this is the dictates of ego. These are the dictates of egos.
لكن بين المؤمنين لا ينبغي أن يصدر ذلك.
However, this should not be the case between believers.
لقد تزوج في هذه الأمة رجل صالح خطب امرأة ثم أصيبت بالجدري فأثر في جسدها.
There's a man from this ummah who proposed to a woman who was then afflicted by smallpox and it scarred her body.
فلما شعر بخجل أهلها تظاهر بأنه فقد بصر.
So when he sensed the embarrassment of her family, he acted as though he was blind.
ففرحوا بذلك وتزوج وبقيت معه 20 سنة حتى توفيت.
So they were glad that he accepted her and they married her to him and they remained married for 20 years until she died.
فلما توفيت فتح عينيه وإذا به عادي ليس به شيء.
So when she died, he opened his eyes and then they found that he was fine and there was nothing wrong with him.
كم أمثال هذا حصل من عهد الأوائل من الأمة بتربية الدين.
How many of the likes of this have occurred since the beginning of the early generations of this ummah through the instruction, the tarbiyah of this deen?
لكن من كان يسلم زمامه للمسلسلات والقصص الفارغات من أين يتربى وكيف يتعلم؟
However, if someone turns over his or her reins to television programs, to series and empty stories, then where will he receive tarbiyah?
إذن فينبغي أن يعدوا أنفسهم ليكونوا رفقاء في الجنة.
And they should prepare themselves to be companions in paradise.
قل إن الخاسرين الذين خسروا أنفسهم وأهليهم يوم القيامة.
Say, indeed, those who are lost are those who lost themselves as well as their families on the day of rising.
وإن أصحاب الجنة اليوم في شغل فاكهون هم وأزواجهم في ظلال على الأرائك متكئون.
Indeed, the people of paradise are in
أنواع النعيم.
are experiencing the various types of bliss, them and their spouses. That's the meaning and the import of the verse.
فإذا مات الزوجان وكل منهما في عصمة الآخر ثم دخل الجنة فأرفعهما درجة يرفع الله الثاني إليه.
If the two spouses die while they're still married and they both enter paradise, whichever one has the highest station, the other is raised to that station.
إن كانت الزوجة أعلى مقاما رفع الله هذا الرجل فجاء بها إلى درجة الزوجة.
If the wife has a higher station, Allah raises this man and brings him to her station.
وإن كان الزوج أرفع مكانا رفع الله الزوجة إلى درجة الزوج.
And if the husband has a higher station, Allah will raise the wife and bring her to his station.
كما يفعل بين الآب والأبناء.
And similarly, Allah does this between parents and children.
وأشار إلى هذا في القرآن.
And Allah indicated this in the Quran.
قال والذين آمنوا واتبعتهم ذريتهم بإيمان.
He said, and those who believe and their offspring followed them in faith.
ألحقنا بهم ذريتهم وما ألتناهم من عملهم من شيء.
We make their offspring join them, and we do not neglect any of their deeds.
قال وكذلك يفعل بين من تآخوا في الله وتحابوا بصدق حتى ماتوا فكان أحدهما أرفع درجة فيرفع الثاني إليه.
And similarly, Allah does this for those who made a true bond of brotherhood and love for Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. When they die, Allah unites them in paradise and raises one to the station of the other.
ولقد حول صلى الله عليه وسلم حتى الحالة مع الصبيان إلى معان من الجنة في الدنيا.
The Prophet ﷺ even transformed meanings of play with children to garden-like meanings, or meanings that were attributed to the garden.
إذا بال الصبي فوق رجله فأرادوا أن يحملوه يقول لا تزرم الصبي بوله دعوه حتى يكمل
He
البول.
said that when a child would be in his lap and it would begin to urinate and they would want to move the child, he would say, no, don't stop the child from urinating, leave it.
بل قال سيدنا أنس أنه كان يوما مستلقيا فطلع الحسن على صدره ثم بال.
And he said, Sayyidina Anas said once that the Prophet ﷺ was lying on his back, and Sayyidina Hassan climbed on his chest and urinated on his chest.
قال فجئت لأرفعه ففتح عينيه.
So Anas said, I went to lift him up, and he opened his eyes. The Prophet opened his eyes.
ما لك يا أنس؟
And he said, what's with you, Anas?
قال الصبي يبول يا رسول
He
الله.
said, the boy's urinating, O Messenger of Allah.
قال دعه أما تدري أن من آذى ابني هذا فقد آذاني.
He said, leave him. Don't you know that the one who harms this son of mine has harmed me?
وقد أطال السجود يوما كثيرا حتى ظن بعض الصحابة أن النبي مات في السجود.
And once he prostrated for such a long time that the companions believed that he had thought that he might have died in prostration.
فلما سلم من الصلاة ورأى استعجبهم قال لعلكم ظننتم أن حدث شيء.
So when he said salams and he saw their amazement, he said, maybe you thought something happened.
قالوا نعم يا رسول الله.
They said, yes, O Messenger of Allah.
قال لم يحدث شيء ولكن ابني هذا ارتحلني وأنا ساجد أي طلع على ظهري فكرهت أن أرتفع حتى يخرجه.
He said, nothing bad happened except the son of mine climbed on my back, and I didn't like to lift my head until he moved.
وكان يتولى ملاعبتهم بنفسه.
And he himself would play with them.
حتى أنه قد يطلعان على ظهره فيمشي على رجليه ويديه وهما على ظهره الشريف.
To the extent that they would climb on his back and he would crawl and let them ride on his back.
رآه يوما بعض الصحابة فقال ما نعم الجمل جملكما يا هذين.
One of the companions saw him and they said, hey, you two, what an excellent camel you have.
فالتفت النبي قال ونعم الراكبان هما.
And the Prophet ﷺ looked and he said, and what an excellent two riders they are.
عيش هذه الحياة أنت عابد حتى في مباسطة أولادك تعبد الله وتقرب إليه.
He said, live this life and you're a worshipper. Even while you're playing with your children, you'll be drawing nearer to Allah.
ولذا كان شأن الإنسان وسط بيته عائدا على أحواله كلها في حياته.
And the way a person is in their home affects all of their life.
حتى أن الذي يستعمل الغلظة والشدة في البيت في غير محلها يتقدر عليه خاطره في أعماله الأخرى وهو بعيد.
And so someone who's severe and harsh in his home, his thinking he'll be distracted and disrupted in his thinking even when he's outside of the home.
سواء كان من الرجل أو من المرأة.
Whether it be the man or the woman.
وكل من تواضع منهم للآخر وأحسن إليه يحس بانشراح وصلاح في أحواله وأعماله في الخارج.
And everyone who's humble and shows good character and their breast is expanded in this, and they show this good character, they'll find an expansion of their breast even in other deeds.
الحمد لله على نعمة هذه الشريعة.
And praise is for Allah for the blessing of this Sharia.
الله يجعل نورها متلالي في دياركم وحياتكم.
May Allah make its light glisten, shine in your homes.
تسعدون بها في الحياة
And through this you be felicitous in your lives.
وعند
And
الوفاة
at the time of death.
وفي البرزخ
And in the intermediate realm of the
وفي
barzakh.
القيامة
And on the day of rising.
وفي الجنة إن
And
شاء
in
الله
paradise, inshallah.
يا أكرم
Most
الأكرمين
generous of the generous.
يا أرحم
And most
الراحمين
merciful of the merciful.
والعفو على التطويل الكثير
And please excuse us for going for a long time.